Welcome to Spider-Verse Minute, the tri-weekly podcast where we watch Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 1 minute at a time. I'm Sean Slater.
And I'm his sister Caroline.
And today we're watching minute 61, which opens with the gang descending into the Spider Cave and ending a minute later with Miles thinking about something.
I have titled this minute, All the Spider References.
Yes, there are a lot of spider references here.
So many.
And some, like, small, nice ones, some bigger ones. One of the first things that I'll bring up is not on the screen, but in the script. Mm-hmm. And they describe the lab as a Calatrava lab, which is referencing the architect Santiago Calatrava. I'm probably saying that with a terrible accent, but yeah, but he's kind of known for big arched open spaces, which the Spider Cave very much is. A big open space with sort of arched, like a feeling of archedness.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not as echoey.
Yeah, maybe the webs absorb a lot of the echo.
Maybe he's got like foam walls to avoid the echo.
Yeah. Really big foam walls.
Yeah. Like, instead of wallpaper, he uses foam.
Yeah. But before they get down into there, I love the way Peter B, like, just reacts to the whole thing. His, I have a little shack like this as well. And then when it does
door
the big
starts glowing.
Thing, yeah, he just does an eye roll and, like, puts his head back like, come on, give me something, as he walks in.
And then he tries to brush it off by like, this place is so pretentious.
Yeah, and I love Gwen does a little eye roll as well. She's just God, he's getting on my nerves. Yeah, but I kind of have to agree with him, is that it does feel a bit overkill.
You know what? Sometimes you just gotta be a little showy.
Yeah, but like, is it a natural cave underground? That doesn't feel like it should be stable. Like a stable place to build housing, or did he dig that out himself? What did he do with all that dirt? Like, so many questions.
I'm not sure.
Like, it's massive.
It is big.
They just go down and down, and there's room for all the things. There's room for people to hide in dark corners.
There's room for multi-levels.
Yes, which, like, the platforms seem to be held up by webbing.
Yeah.
And so is this, like, long-lasting, like, just permanent webbing? Or does he have to go in every, like, couple of days and replace all the webs to make sure the platforms don't fall down?
I don't know. You also have to consider, how strong are these webs? Because one of them has a full-out workout set on there.
And that is not a light workout set.
No, it's like a serious workout set.
I looked at it, and the, like, 2 barbell smaller sets of weights that he had, each of the plates on it was 250 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
So each of those totaled a ton. But that was just like, easy, simple, light stuff. Because the bench press, the outermost plate was 25 tons.
Jeez.
What is that, 50,000 pounds?
Peter in this universe can lift.
Yeah, and there were bigger plates than that. And
yeah,
my, like, rough estimate-ish is it's about if they kind of increase in size, like the standard weights going up by an increment of 5 each time, that means that each side would have had 4 40s, a 35, a 30, and a 25 on them. So each side would have been 250 tons, meaning a total of 500 tons for that bench press.
I mean, I guess it makes sense when you consider the fact that he's been fighting people like Kingpin and Green Goblin, who are huge.
Yeah.
Like, he's got to be able to lift those guys.
So, in comparison, Peter would be able to lift up about 4 blue whales, because they weigh about 115 tons, or he could lift, the Christ the Redeemer statue in Rio de Janeiro is about 700 tons. So that would be a bit hard for him. He might need to get some help picking that up, or, if he gets a lever, he might be able to do it. But that would be like him on a really good day. he might be able to just do, one rep of Christ the Redeemer. But yeah, 500 tons is a lot of tons. And that's being held up by some webbing.
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
Yeah, and like the material that he made the like stuff to hold the weights out of has to be insane as well. Like that's probably some like super dense carbon fiber, because it's just like little poles looking like a regular bench press holding it up. But yeah, that's the first platform that we see as it comes into view.
I do quickly just want to talk about the awesome music in the background playing as they're lowering into the lab.
Yeah.
I just love the music. I really don't have anything to add to it. I just love the music and want to give it constantly shout-outs in this movie because it's so good.
Yeah, and it does have like a bit of silence too as they first start descending, and then it like opens up as you start seeing things, which is really cool.
It's just such a good theme. I don't know what it is about the theme, but I'm a big sucker for it.
Yeah.
So I had this question when I was watching it. Do you think Gwen has something like this?
No. Considering the fact that I was going to say she still lives with her dad, but Peter still lives with his aunt, so...
Yeah, come on. I don't think that really stands for anything.
But also, like, I mean, regular Peter is, he's kind of rich. Actually, does he still live with his aunt? Do they live together?
They never fully confirm or deny it. We know he's married to MJ.
They could live with her.
Yeah, but they never say if they were still living with her or living separately from her.
Yeah, maybe he just used this as the base.
Like, that was the starter base. Maybe it's just, like, the emergency.
Yeah, but this one's supposed to be sort of a, like... I have a feeling he's got a lot of money. And Gwen is the opposite of having a lot of money. An underground lair, pretty expensive. You have to be kind of in the 1% to be able to afford a underground lair. Be like a Batman who's got multiple hidden bases. Because he's got the Batcave, and all of his children have trust funds that are big enough that they can set up their own underground lairs, and he also finances the Justice League's multiple satellites. When one gets destroyed, they make another. Yeah, so I imagine just like Peter's probably like a poor billionaire. So he's only got this measly one underground lair.
It's tiny compared to others.
If he's got a like Parker Industries or whatever, like his tech company would be called, like he probably just has some like small base in the basement of that as well. But I also wonder like if. So we saw it go all like cool and glowy and whatnot.
Yeah.
I wonder if like someone just like manually opened it normally, like broke the lock and broke in or broke through the side, if it would just look like a regular shed.
I bet it does. I just had the image of like, I like to picture that he's actually good friends with Iron Man in this universe, and that's why he has the underground lair. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. He's good friends with Iron Man, and that's why he has the lair.
I do like this Peter. Like he's like, oh yeah, mine's not nearly like it doesn't have as much.
Yeah, it's like, is there anything like this? Yeah, just take
the Jeep and the plane. Like, okay, we don't see those, so there's a Jeep and plane in there.
We see the Jeep.
Well, maybe I guess
we see it because it's a motorcycle.
Well, I don't know if I'd call that a Jeep. It's a buggy. It's the Spider-Mobile. I guess you could call it a Jeep, but it's really not.
I thought that's what he was referring to as the Jeep.
I guess I was thinking of something else.
There might have been another Jeep there. Who knows?
But yeah, I guess the Jeep could have been the Spider-Mobile, which was a thing that Peter in the comics had at one point. That first appeared in Amazing Spider-Man 130 in 1974.
Fun. When did he get the motorcycle?
Around the same-ish time. It's kind of... So, he's never had, at least that I could find, he's never had a motorcycle that looks like that one. He has had some other motorcycles of various designs, but those were typically either like sports bikes or looked more futuresque-y.
Okay. I will admit, the idea of Spider-Man having any kind of vehicle is weird to me.
Yeah. It's so he doesn't tire his legs out, or not his legs, his arms.
I think the reason it weirds me out is because he lives in New York, and that's only just wherever I picture Spider-Man living. Like, I always forget that he travels sometimes.
Yeah.
And to have any kind of vehicle in New York, it's like swinging is so much faster.
Yeah, the motorcycle might be a good deal for getting through traffic, but the other things too that we see once they like land on the ground floor, I guess it would be the bottom floor. Even though everything's below ground, the basement, most basement floor, is like all of the merchandise that he has.
I was gonna say he has a little corner of merch, and I'm like, huh, he has his own merch. It's not much of it. It's not much of it. I'll give him that.
Yeah. Do you think that he bought it, or was it given to him?
I feel like it was gifted to him, because I feel like if he bought it, he wouldn't really hold on to it. I feel like he like held on to like gifted stuff because he could have bought more merch then.
Yeah.
Like, it's so small. Like, I feel like that's gifted stuff.
I mean, this could just be the stuff he hasn't put into the merch wing yet.
True.
There could be a whole other wing of just merchandising.
You know what? You have a point there. But the other reason I think it's more gifted things is because it looks like there's also like a newspaper clipping hung up.
Yeah.
And so that makes me think, oh, maybe it's like memorabilia stuff more.
Yeah.
Though I do like the image of a Spider-Man, not even just Peter, but Spider-Man walking into like the Stan Lee Comics store and just like, hey, you got any new merch, my man? He'd be like, yep, and just handing him merch.
Yeah, just a big box of like new stuff.
Yeah, like, here you go. This is all the new things.
Yeah, he gets one of everything.
Yeah, like the Stan Lee character just sets like every time he gets new things, like, okay, so these are for Spider-Man.
Yeah, I imagine like.
Do you think he knows that it's Peter?
I don't know, but I was gonna say I bet Peter has merchandising rights as well, maybe
probably.
to himself. So he probably like wouldn't even have to invent anything, and he'd be, just get all the rights from that.
Maybe.
Because he has the, he probably got some, residuals.
Maybe that's
kind
where
of
he
things
got the money
comics. Yeah, he's just he diversified. He's tech media mogul.
He decided not to invest into a spider-themed restaurant.
Correct, or maybe he did,
and it was successful.
Yeah, but he was just smarter about it. But I also like how Aunt May just like casually takes the computer from Miles. She's like, well, right? I know what I need to do with this. And Miles is just like, okay, yeah, sure.
Did you notice the spider carpet on the ground?
Yeah.
It's like, I see you're going with the I'm going to use this motif everywhere theme.
Yes. Like, if you hadn't picked up on it already, he's got a bit of a theme going on.
Like, put it on the door opens, spider theme, the lock has it, obviously it's on the suit, but like that feels a little better. But if you decide to go with the lair as well, to just theme out the lair as well, I'm like, well, I will say I prefer the spider than the alternative theme, which is just everything is a web. So I appreciate it. And
then once they disperse, we have Peter going to look over at the picture of MJ, and he gets has a little bittersweet moment looking at that picture.
It's a really nice picture of her.
Yeah. And then I liked how Miles sort of looked over at him, and at least the way I interpreted it was he was like, oh, he's kind of feeling sad, so I should try to cheer him up a little bit. And that's when he's like, hey, look at the cape.
Yeah. The way I took it is that Miles first saw the cape and he's like, oh, I'm gonna harp on Peter here, and turn around, because he turns around with a pretty big smile on his face.
Yeah.
And then that's when he catches it, and you can see his sort of oh, he sees something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cheer him up. So yeah, I have a similar take too.
Yeah, because he also kind of whispers it, so Peter could sort of ignore him if he wanted to, and would have plausible deniability. So that gives Peter the option of whether he wants to keep looking at the picture or respond to Miles.
Yeah.
And then Gwen walks over to just the corner.
Yeah, we don't really see exactly where she walks to. Yeah,
she's just looking up, and at first I wasn't really sure what she was looking at, because I thought maybe she's sensing the other spider people up there, but it's not in the right direction, I don't think.
Yeah, so I think what it is that, and we'll see this in the next minute, is that there's that wall of pictures and stuff.
No, that's not even on the right side
It's
either.
not on the right side either? Okay.
No, because they look at the wall and then look up and they see the spider people. So
That's
that's
right.
all in the same direction. I think it's probably just one of the the platforms that we see. Like she might be looking at the plane that we didn't see.
Maybe. I do kind of want to know what that plane looks like. I won't lie.
Yeah. I picture it like a little like gyrocopter. Just like not even really a plane, but
yeah, okay.
Yeah, something to get around in.
That would fit. That would fit him. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then we get to the cases with all of the outfits in them. And this had a very like Batcave-esque feeling to it because it feels a lot like the like fallen heroes memorial that like Batman has in the Batcave with like, oh, this was like Jason's old outfit and this was Stephanie's outfit, and like he has the different ones, and like sometimes when they retire, like sometimes he'll have Dick's old Robin outfit up, and so it's not just it's like this is just the memorial one, memorial section of the cave, and then like Young Justice had a similar thing for their fallen heroes, and so it felt very much like but where are these like are these suits memorials?
Yeah, I didn't have that take. I just had it as more of like Peter likes to have his suits in cases in case he just wants to change up a look every now and again, or if he needs like a specific suit for a specific mission, he can just grab it and go. More for convenience.
I was also thinking that it could potentially be like these might not be the first extra dimensional people that have come to visit him, and so these could be like just kind of like some people swap pins when they meet, or like patches or something. Suits. So they have just like a bunch of suits he carries around. He's like, hey, here's your suit, and we'll swap suits.
I love that. I love that so much.
Or like they had to leave, like they put it to get dry cleaned, but then they had to quickly go home before it was done. So Peter's like, well, I guess I'll just keep this suit around, keep it nice and pristine.
I'm also now liking the picture, so you know how like cosplayers will do like iterations or AUs of famous characters. They're like, we're gonna do the Birds of Prey, but in the 50s type thing. So I like to picture that these are all just suits that he stole from people designs in like the Comic-Con, whatever their Comic-Con is.
Yeah.
Like he likes to go to Comic-Con in costume and be like, sweet, what version is this? And then he like writes it down. They're like, I'm gonna replicate this. This is cool. Because he doesn't like show it off or anything. It's just suits he was flattered that people decided to do, so he made them for his own like joy.
Yeah. And the 12 suits we have, starting from the left, this one, so there's one that I didn't get, and this one's the second like hardest. It looks closest like the spider suit from Exiles number 12, which came out in June of 2002.
Okay.
And this is another Earth's suit, which that Peter, from my understanding of it, was that like he was just like a cold-blooded killer kind of thing, a serial killer, and the all red suit is the like, instead of that Earth's like symbiote turning the suit black, it turned it red. It wasn't exactly the symbiote, but it's the same sort of like thing where it becomes infected, and so that's that suit most likely. It's not like an exact match, but it's the closest one. I was only able to find one person that like mentioned that, and that was their like, this is what I'm guessing it is, but it's not as obvious as some of the other suits.
Yeah.
And then the second suit we see is the advanced suit from the 2018 PS4 game Marvel's Spider-Man.
I will say, the reason I recognize quite a few of these suits is because of that game.
Yeah.
So, that when I saw that, I'm like, hey! I know that suit.
I haven't played the game. I haven't played the game or really watched any.
I've seen playthroughs of it, and I think it's really good. I think it's really well done.
And so I had to like look all these up, and that was difficult.
Some of them are in the game, like the one you just mentioned. I think there's a few other, and when we'll get to them, I'll bring them up. Maybe PS4. I do genuinely really like the design they gave him for the PS4 game. I think it's a really cool design.
Yeah, it is one of the better designs they have for it. I think there hasn't really been a like spider suit that I've looked at and been like, meh. They've generally done, for the ones I've seen at least, a pretty good job with it, but like there's some that are just like, I prefer them as one-off suits than this, but this is a pretty decent, like, it's nice how they incorporated the white into it. It makes it pop.
Yeah, it gives it nice pops. I also actually, normally I'm not a fan of like the bigger spider symbol just because I think it looks a little dated.
Yeah.
But I like the way they do it in that one. Like, it's really a modern take on the big symbol, and I think making it white helps a lot with that.
Yeah, I don't mind the bigger symbol when it's, like, incorporated into the suit more. Like, there was it's not one of the ones here, but, like, when he was working with the X-Men more, that suit, I believe it was that one, had, like, his back was just, like, kind of a big spider. And that looked kind of cool. It was like a really fat, like, it was really, you just saw the legs were the really obvious part.
Cool.
But I liked that one.
Yeah, like when it's done correctly, because I'm looking at quite a few different designs there, just because I'm curious too. And there are a bunch where it's like a bigger design, but the legs will go like throughout the suit, and I think that's really clever.
Yeah. The next suit we have is the Electro-Proof suit, which debuted in Amazing Spider-Man 425 in August of 1997. And this one was designed to be electric proof when he was fighting the villain Electro.
What?
And so it's insulated, and Electro's electric attacks don't work against him. Yeah, this one was I don't really care for the, like, really big white eyes in this one. But overall, it's an okay suit. Give it a 7 out of 10. The fourth suit in the row is the traditional red and blue suit. It's like the normal suit that he's in. This would have been the one that he wore. And that first debuted when Spider-Man first did, which was Amazing Fantasy 15 in August of 62.
Huh, really? That wasn't back in 62 that one was set.
Yeah.
Interesting. I feel like he's been through so many changes with suits. Still, and that one is still like the iconic one. Like the one people go back to.
The next suit is his Secret War suit, which debuted in Secret War #1 in April 2004.
So that one does look like it was in the PS4 game?
Yes, I believe that one was.
Yeah, because I'm looking at it now. It looks... We didn't get a close-up of it. The only thing I can see is maybe the one in the PS4 game has a few more lights on it, or blue elements to it. Yeah,
and this was for the Secret War story event. I haven't read it, but I think this is one where the Skrulls invade, and like it turns out that like Skrulls took over a bunch of the heroes for the past couple of years, or something weird like that. The next one is the Dusk suit, which was the all black one. This one is one of the ones where it's not 100%, like it doesn't exactly look like the Dusk suit. And it was when he was like trying to clear his name from a crime. He went through a couple different like new names, and so like one of the names that he went under was Dusk. And it kind of looks like it, but it's not super clear.
100%.
Yeah.
Like 1-to-1.
Yeah, and that was from Spider-Man 91 in May of 98. The middle-ish one, and the one that Miles points out, is the Cape suit, which comes from What If number 19, which was Marvel's series of like, hey, what if we take something and twist it? So like one of the recently famous ones was I forget which number, but it was What If Thor Was a Lady. And it has Jane as Thor instead of Thor as Thor.
Yeah.
And that was kind of brought up when Jane took over as the Thor a couple years ago, and then like more recently again when they announced that she was going to take the mantle up again in the next movie involving Thor.
Yeah, and I think they're kind of revamping that comic series for Disney Plus. Like I think they're actually doing What If for Disney Plus, which I'm actually really excited about that. I'm curious to see.
Yeah. The one after that, the green one, and this is kind of the ones where I don't really like the way the spider legs are incorporated.
Yeah, it's a little strange.
And this is his stealth suit. The bright green suit is
what
the
is
stealth
stealthier
suit.
than bright green?
But this one came from the Spider-Man Unlimited mobile game, which was like an endless runner game they put out in September of 2014.
This is also in the PS4 game.
And this is like the green mode of the stealth suit, I guess. So like I guess the stealth suit has a couple different modes. The one after that is
very blue. That's what it is.
Yeah, this was the one I wasn't able to find any information on.
Oh, okay.
It looks like it's just an inverted color scheme.
Yeah.
The blue parts are red, the red parts are blue. And I couldn't find anything on it. The only thing I could find was like a fan edit of one of the costumes that just, inverted the color scheme and looked a lot like this. So, but in the director's commentary, they were saying they were all real costumes. So this is the only one I wasn't able to find.
It's probably like a really obscure one.
My Google foo failed me in this case. The next two, the 10th and 11th ones, are the Spider Armor outfits, with the one on the left being the Mark I version and the one on the right being the Mark II version. The Mark I first debuted in Web of Spider-Man number 100 in 1993, and then Mark II appeared in Amazing Spider-Man 656 in 2011. So Mark I seemed to do a really good job for him whenever he needed to use it, because it lasted him 18 years.
I mean, hey, if something's working, right?
And then the last suit is the Iron Spider armor. This one's also one of the ones that are kind of, I'm like 90% confident it's this one, but this one appeared in Amazing Spider-Man 529 in April 2006. This is the one that like it has the like spider legs coming out of it, so a variant of it appeared in Spider-Man Far From Home.
I was gonna say, because they have that, I don't know if upgrades start with, but they have that mechanic and the Spider-Man movie version in the PS4 game.
Yeah.
But not this version.
Yeah, and this one, the colors are a bit off, and the design's slightly, at least it, from the bit we see in the movie, it's slightly different than what the comic version looks like.
Yeah.
And this one's also one worn by, in the comics, Uncle Aaron for a bit.
Oh.
He wears the, not this exact design, but the Iron Spider armor. He wears a variant of it, and uses it to do, criminal things.
What?
I know. Shocker.
Jeez.
Yeah, but that's all the suits we see in the cases.
Right. Do you have anything else to add for this minute?
No, that's all I have.
That is all I have as well. Thank you all for listening, and we'll catch you on Wednesday with minute 62. Until then, thanks for listening.
Bye.